There really are some strange people out there in the universe, particularly gay men in open relationships. Can we talk about this? Tell me if this experience feels oddly familiar to you. Gay guys who express a lot of interest in you, even though they're partnered. So I was talking to a guy on an app on grindr, and this guy totally charmed me. Beautiful guy, polished guy, sophisticated looking guy. And the conversation itself was so different from the average conversation on apps like Grindr. He was inquisitive. He actually could form full sentences and speak intelligently. Just an interesting guy, curious guy. And so I caught myself like, damn, I'm really into this guy. And I felt like it was too good to be true because it's so rare for that to happen, for a guy to like check all your boxes on an app, right? So I checked back his profile and I noticed that one field was conveniently left unfilled, and that was the relationship status box. Now, some guys are just lazy, that they don't finish filling out their profiles, but I've noticed over the years that when a guy conveniently leaves out the relationship field but fills out most of the other fields like height, age, into this, into that, whatever. When they leave out relationship status, it typically is because they're not single and they know better than to advertise that, because they know that there's guys like me who are gonna get turned off. So, of course, I asked him, hey, by the way, are you single? And he's like, oh, no, I'm partnered, happily partnered, but we do our own thing. And I was like, ugh, dagger. Of course. So at this point, I just totally lose interest because I'm not one of those guys who has any interest in opening that can of worms, even for a one-time thing for fun. Like, it's just too messy, it's a headache. And for me, intimacy, even just like a casual fling, it's not fun if the person is like emotionally tethered to another person. Like, nothing about a man in a relationship is a source of arousal to me. And so I politely tell him like, oh, thanks for letting me know. I'm actually not really into that, blah, 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 right? Thinking that I politely declined and have exited gracefully from this situation. And he proceeds to do what so many gay guys in open relationships will do, which is he'll go, oh, but like we're open, like it's totally fine. We're totally cool to do that. It's like, you're not hurting anybody, da, 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 da. And I'm like, silly boy, you're missing the bigger picture, which is that I'm not into it. It's not about what you or your partner wants. I'm not into this dynamic. It's bad enough I gotta use a silly app like this to meet somebody. I gotta set boundaries at some point. So again, I'm thinking he got the hint, goodbye. And he continues to text me in the middle of the night. I'm getting texts from this guy like, where are you? You disappeared. You're awfully quiet. And I just stopped responding because I was like, you should know by now, you should understand that a boy like me is not into this kind of thing. It was so peculiar to me that he went from being so attractive to me, not just physically, but the way he carried himself, the conversation. He went from that to the other extreme of like, I'm really turned off that you, like, now you're being thirsty, even though I've established I do not want a partnered guy. This is not rocket science. This is not complicated. And only does this shit happen with gay guys, I feel, that we've so normalized the phenomenon of an open relationship that a guy like this just like doesn't understand that he could be rejected for such a logical reason of, you're partnered and I'm not into that. Sadly, I feel like this is not so uncommon with gay guys. What I'm always stunned by is guys on apps in open relationships who will have like a laundry list of rules and standards in their bio as if they're like at the top of the totem pole. And I'm like, sir, you do not get to be this choosy when you're partnered. Like, or am I missing the bigger picture that the average gay guy on an app like Grindr who's just looking for fun couldn't care less about who's partnered and who's not? Like, to me, it's such a huge turnoff. It's like being a smoker. Like, it's a non-negotiable for me. You're not going to convince me otherwise. I am turned off. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments.